It took a moment. Oh, no, we're live on Instagram, Jessica. I already hit the button. Sunrise Extra coming at you.
It has started. It has begun.
Well, I can't be nice to the Facebook people. They can't even see us yet. I'll just be nice to the Instagram people. Okay, now we're being seen, I believe, Ashley, by both the Instagrammers. Hello, Instagrammers. And then right there by the Facebook Livers. And we can also see the Sunrise Extra program through our .com live stream, KHW.com. Today it is just Ashley and I, at least to start. Nina usually drives the ship. We talked about yesterday of this new thing we do called Sunrise Extra after our TV program is over in the mornings. Brenda, not able to join us today. Normally she'd be here. Very busy, Brenda is. Very busy today working on some things like the carpool segment that she works on. So it's just you and I till Rod shows back up. But things we're talking about today, and we always try to find a topic that was in our news and then sort of expand on it a little bit. And of course, yesterday, you were in the newsroom at the same time I was when news broke of the fire in Paris at Notre-Dame Cathedral. And, you know, there was some reaction in our newsroom from people that were really, you know, just
so upset.
Yes.
Devastated. And
those reactions continued to pour in from our viewers because we've had viewers that either wanted to go or have gone that expressed, you know, what this place meant to them. We can actually share some of that feedback with you right there. I know it's tough for our Facebook followers to see some of the feedback here, but I'm going to read basically what our Facebook followers are seeing right now. So sad to watch, says Sabrina. She says, Notre-Dame burning. It was the first stop on our honeymoon, she and her husband, almost 10 years ago. And that's a picture of her and her husband right there in front of Notre-Dame. Suzanne sent us this shot from, I believe it was back in May of 1977.
Wow.
So one of our viewers, Suzanne, visiting Notre-Dame some 40 years ago and sharing those memories with us. You can see another one here from viewer Allison, and now our Instagram followers can see it as well. I was fortunate enough, Allison says, to attend a service and see the crown of thorns. The crown of thorns, of course, referencing what Jesus wore on the cross during his crucifixion. One of the relics, one of the amazing relics you'll find there at Notre Dame. She says it seems unclear whether this priceless relic was saved.
And is that what the cultural minister or some official said was in fact saved?
So yeah, we do know this morning, we reported that during our show, that was one of the relics that was saved. So that is, as you mentioned, good news there. So you can continue to weigh in if you've paid a visit to Notre Dame or you wanted to. But it also had us thinking about what is a landmark or a place, some place on this earth that you wanted to visit, that you still would like to visit, say, on your bucket list. I was about to say before you kick the bucket, but a place on your bucket list that you'd like to visit before it's all said and done. And you have some thoughts on that, Ashley?
Okay, so I want to go to Greece. Nowhere in particular in Greece. I just want to go to Greece. My mom's side of the family is Greek, and we have lots of relatives there. And it looks beautiful, and I'd love to explore our heritage.
So in other words, you don't need a place to stay. You're saying you don't need like a hotel or Airbnb. You just want to go to anywhere in Greece and just hang out.
If my family's offering, I'll stay with you guys. But if not, maybe an Airbnb. And it's just so pretty. You know, I have my other half of the family's Norwegian. I don't quite have the desire to go to Norway. I don't know why. I'm sure it's beautiful. Maybe I'll get there. It's
kind of sad because I thought this would be a great topic for our viewers to chime in on, and you can do so right now. Ashley is keeping an eye on our Facebook feed.
Yes.
And our producer Jessica in the booth will be keeping an eye on the Instagram feed, so you can chime in either place right now. Where on earth would you most like to visit? A landmark, a historic spot. And I thought this would be a great topic. People will want to chime in on that. Yeah. And then sadly, I really don't have that place either.
Does anything come to mind?
Like nothing.
What about just like a country or continent?
I'll tell you this much. When we went to Yellowstone, I thought, I want to see Yellowstone. We took the kids there a couple years ago, and I was, nah.
What?
Nah.
That's my home, man. Not Yellowstone.
Montana's beautiful, but generally speaking, I thought this isn't that great of a vacation. All we're doing is sitting in the car every day, driving around this park looking for buffalo. I prefer the beach in Hawaii.
Well,
and I used to think Alaska always seemed like a cool spot for me. I always hear about the beauty of Alaska, and I've never been to Alaska, and I like to visit Alaska. But then every time I bring that up recently, people who have been there go, oh, you're from Oregon. You're not going to appreciate it anyway. It really just looks like it does here.
You know, we do live in such a beautiful area that I think if you're maybe from a place with fewer mountains or, you know, different territory, they might love that, and it's something new to experience. But I can see that. Okay, so, wow, Jana is in Brisbane, Australia. Talk about a place to live. I'd love to visit there. So good morning. morning, Jana, to you. I want to go through this little list because I did look up a list of like places you should visit.
Most common places people want to see before they die.
Or you're recommended to go, you know, where they say you should go.
I keep wanting to bring up death this morning, Ashley. I'm sorry.
Please don't. The first one, the Great Barrier Reef in Queensland, Australia. Maybe Jana's been, who's from Brisbane.
If you asked me where the Great Barrier Reef was, I don't think I would have guessed.
Pretty.
I didn't know. I'm sorry.
Look at how pretty the blue water, the blue sky. Tropical. Okay, I'm going to go to number 2, the Pyramids of Giza in Egypt. How about that? That was one of the 7 world wonders.
I didn't know the pyramids were in Egypt.
Still largely intact. This one says definitely worth a visit.
I did know it. I said I did.
You did. Stonehenge.
Oh yeah, Stonehenge.
I mean, I have lots of friends who go and they take the photo of the iconic, you know,
right.
the rocks there.
It always reminds me of a European vacation, of course, with the Griswolds. Were you thinking of something else, Camera Jay?
I was thinking of, what is it?
If you're thinking of it, you must know what you're thinking about. Otherwise, it doesn't work for the program, Jay. He's going back to silence.
This is interesting. The Grand Canyon is one of the worldly destinations to go to.
Absolutely, and it's another place I said I've wanted to, ever since I watched the Bradys go to the Grand Canyon when I was a youth, I've said I want to go, and I haven't been to the Grand Canyon either.
But then it goes from the Grand Canyon to Antelope Canyon, Arizona. That's on that list.
Huh.
Interesting. That looks gorgeous. Wow.
Yeah, it looks like a painting there.
Let's see, Reed Flute Caves in China, lots of places. I'm going to check back in on our stream here and see if we have any comments coming
people can chime in right now. Again, place on Earth that you'd like to visit. And honestly, I guess when it comes down to it, I did think about this a little bit. And one of the first things that did come to my mind, 2 baseball stadiums that I've never been to. You know I'm a baseball fan. Now listen, these are historic venues.
Historic. The Cubs?
Thank you. I was going to say, Ashley, if I said 2 historic ballparks in this country, what would they be?
Wrigley.
You got Wrigley Field, and what's the
Yankees.
other?
No.
Yankee Stadium. I mean, that's cool, but not what I'm thinking.
Fenway.
What, Jay?
Fenway.
Yell it.
Oh, duh.
Yell it, Jay.
Fenway.
Fenway Park is absolutely correct.
That's
so
right.
I would like to check out those baseball stadiums.
That'd be cool. Do your boys have as much appreciation to a trip like that?
You know, they don't have, no. We went to Philadelphia for spring break. We saw a Phillies game at Citizens Bank Park, which has next to no history. And the boys appreciated the game, but I don't think they understand the history of Wrigley and Fenway. And honestly, if I turned on the news later today and I saw either one of those venues burning, like Notre-Dame was burning yesterday, you know, I would.
You'd be pretty upset.
It would take me back saying, darn, I wish I had gotten there.
So we have a couple comments so far. Isolde, I think that's Isolde's name, Venice. Kirsten says the pyramids of Egypt, St. Petersburg, and Kiev. And Katie says Stonehenge. All good places. Rod, want to weigh in?
So true story. The one, I've been very blessed. I got to travel a lot when I was younger. The one dream vacation I've never taken is to go to Africa and see Cape Town, but also do the safaris.
Yeah.
So I had the time off. It was going to be a 3-week trip in September. Had saved the money. And then I met my wife, Grayson, and my Africa fund became the wedding fund.
Yep, there it went.
And I've never been.
But that shows the love. You said, honey, I've been saving up for this. It is now yours. What was once mine is now ours.
So my point is, a single person has a better chance of going to Africa than a married person.
Good chance. Judy says Florida's Everglades. I lived in Florida for a year in Sarasota. Best trip ever. I had best vacation. My best friend came down. She was living in Chicago.
Okay.
And we were in college at the time. She came down and I took her out to this place called Mayaca State Park. And this is in the Tampa area.
Okay.
Ish. And you can go canoe out in these like nature parks, right? So we go out there, we're like 20, don't know what we're doing, but we're like, this sounds fun. You know, we're from Montana, we've canoed, we've been on rivers before. We get these canoes and you have to like sign all these waivers. And you know there are gators out there, but
That's what I'm thinking.
You know.
Tell me they're not wooden canoes, they're metal, is that right?
I don't remember. But we get out there in the middle of this like, this lake and we're out there canoeing and all of a sudden the clouds get really dark and it starts to rain and the birds are like circling, no joke, like it's like a movie. And all of a sudden nobody else is out in the water and we see gator heads popping up all over the place. And then we both start crying because we're like, this is real. So we're like paddling, but you know they're like all down there.
My goodness.
So we got back. We were so terrified. I'll never do that again. But we got back to the shore and whew.
Any desire I may have had is now gone. Thank you.
Feel good story.
Don't do that. Okay, wait, a couple more comments. Aaron says Alaska. Aaron says go to Alaska. Kathy
really
says
good.
Rome and Bali, and Jan says Mount Rushmore. So
see that? I like it when the viewers play along. So Chris, you can chime in with one final answer if you'd like. What we're basically asking is places on Earth you'd like to visit.
Oh my goodness, there's so many places I want to go.
Historic landmark. You'd like to
Let me
see.
say, Busch Stadium in St. Louis has already been taken. So
Okay, yeah, no interest in
shoot.
that. I'm interested in going to see a World Series champion in Philadelphia, maybe again later at
Nice.
Citizens Bank Park. We've done that. Actually, I did the Florida trip, by the way, one time.
did?
The coldest canoe trip I ever took was in spring break in Florida.
Really?
Yeah, we had to leave Wisconsin to go to spring break in Florida to enjoy, you know, some
cold.
nice spring.
Yeah, some
and
sun.
there were 30-mile-an-hour winds, 2-foot chop out on the water. Let me tell you something. That is cold in 50-degree temperatures. It was one of the colder outbreaks that they'd had, and my buddy took me out camping out on one of the islands in the Keys there. And when we finally got the fire lit, oh goodness. So yeah, that is not on my list in March, maybe like April, May, June.
Lots
Key
of-
West, though, nice place to visit. Really cool.
Florida stories this morning.
Well, again,
Because it happened in Florida.
the fire at Notre-Dame Cathedral in Paris had us asking places on Earth, and really landmarks in that case, that you'd like to visit. And you can continue to chime in on that, whether it's on our Instagram feed right now, the KGW Instagram page. Hello, Instagram viewers, or on our Facebook page on KGW. But we can also move along and talk about sports. Ashley, please stay with us.
I'm going to just go to sleep.
No, don't leave yet. We won't spend a lot of time on sports. But the fact of the matter is,
Blazers, no, I'm
there is a
excited about
huge
that.
game in town here tonight.
Yeah.
The Blazers taking on the Thunder in Game 2. And we talked yesterday about how it has been forever. In fact, not in my time here in Portland, in 20 years almost, have we seen a long run through the playoffs by the Blazers.
No, we did. Didn't we win a first round some years back?
2014.
2014, we won the first
yeah.
round.
But that's it.
And we got to the second round.
Other than that
Beat
time,
the
they
Pistons.
lost to the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals.
Which was the worst moment in Portland sports history.
But since then,
I
they've
remember
only
that well.
gotten to the second round one time.
I think twice.
Twice, Jay? Still not enough.
Jay's our expert.
Jay is the
But
Blazers
never
expert.
felt like we were really a contender to go to the Western Conference Finals. Is that fair?
Right.
Since that team lost the game.
Did you all
7.
watch the other night? And do you plan on staying up tonight?
Yes. Well, Sunday was easy because it was during the day.
Yeah.
It was Sunday.
Yeah, it was
Tonight
over
would be
at
hard
5.
because it starts at 7:30.
But are you going to? Are you
No.
guys like that hardcore?
I don't think I can. I don't think my body.
Oh,
will allow me to
wait.
stay
You
up.
don't have to be that hardcore. This is playoffs, man. This is like, you know,
Playoffs.
7 and done, 4 and
That
done.
game
So
will
you
end at
watch
10,
some of it.
10:10, 10:15
Watch
maybe.
some of
You'll
it.
be up at 10:15.
Well,
any of you?
well, actually,
What's
because
the late start tonight?
7:30 start.
Catherine's got a late meeting, so I'm going to have to be up tonight anyway. So
Okay.
You will.
that's my excuse.
Oh, there
I
you
blame
go.
my wife for actually staying up to have to watch the game. How about that?
There you go. Cameron Jay's going to
My
be up
excuse.
watching.
I get if you're a true Blazers fan and you don't have to be at work at 3:45 in the morning, I would
Yeah.
think that you're going to stay up no matter what. Nothing's
Yeah.
going to put you
sure,
to bed.
of course.
Yeah.
Predictions? You think Blazers are going to take it?
What,
you wanna even go
wasn't
down
it?
that
Somebody
road?
told me
Yeah,
who
I
was
mean,
it?
no,
that
it's-
Paul George is not healthy. Is this true?
He's not at 100%.
Not
He's not
playing
100%.
well.
So that's a key to our success.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
I think we're on a roll.
McGinnis says we win
I
tonight.
think we're on a mission.
I think we win tonight. I was doubted before Game 1. I didn't know how the series was going to go. I feel like that Game 1 win was a huge lift for the Blazers. Now, I will change my tune entirely. I will tell you right now, if they lose tonight, I'm changing my tune.
If they win tonight,
Yes.
right, you know O2 is pretty hard to come back from.
Right. I mean, it's not over.
But it is Oklahoma City who has had our number until Sunday.
I feel like this thing could go the entire 7 games, and maybe the home court advantage will come into effect here. Maybe the home team wins every game of this series, and it goes the full 7, and the Blazers win in 7. But according to that plan, they have to win tonight.
Yeah.
They have to win tonight. We'll see what happens. I do want to talk about another sports story, though.
Yes.
This one has some more wide appeal. Oh, did you want to say something?
Nope, I was just going to say Tim wrote a big comment. Go Blazers, win it for PGA and Nurkic.
PG.
I'm not sure what
Paul,
that's
Paul,
from.
Paul
Allen.
Allen. Jeez,
Oh,
Louise.
You
Yes.
just said PGA
Yes.
and Nurkic.
I had to think about that for a second.
I
but
read it
absolutely,
verbatim.
and that could be
She
in the
thought we were
back of
going
their
all
mind.
golf for a second.
That's what I, for a second, I'm like, what?
Yeah. Well, she's wearing
Tiger
Masters
Woods.
green, which is nice,
Hey,
by the
I
way.
did that for you.
The other sports story I was going to weave into because this had a kind of a funny, I guess, a side story to it. Russell Wilson gets a new contract extension.
Yeah. Right.
The way he announces it to his Seattle Seahawks fans is by way of Twitter. And Jessica, I know that we were going to try to dial that up again. So we're going to pull that up. If you didn't see it, Russell Wilson basically laying in bed alongside of his wife. And here it is. Oh, it went away. Sorry, Jay. I bet you if you just stare at that screen long enough, Jay, it'll pop back up. So I don't know which channels can see this right now, which can't.
We've got it on our
There, it's back on the monitor now, Jay.
There we go.
Are we going to be able to hear it, though?
Where do I go?
I know that our Facebook followers can see it. Now our Instagram followers can too. And if you can't hear it, it's basically Russell Wilson laying next to his wife, Sierra, and saying, "Hey, Seahawks fans, we can hear it."
That's almost
Continue.
like a
It's
voice.
funnier when you do it.
Yeah. You're doing your Sly voice.
Well, must have been late at night because he had that it must have been very tired, the two of them. He goes, "Hey, Seahawks fans, we're back. Coming back, Seattle."
So underwhelming.
But why would he make that announcement at that time of day?
But now, let me ask you this.
With that lack of clothing.
Well, if I had a beautiful wife laid next to me like that, I would too.
But just sports in general, if you're a football, if you're an NFL fan, and you've got your friends sitting around the table and you go, "Hey, trivia question, who do you think is the best player in the NFL?" And then let's attach that to, who do you think is likely the highest paid player in the NFL? I'm telling you, that man would not come to mind.
But you say it, but he wins they win a lot
Well, he
with
does,
him.
but is he the best
They win a lot
quarterback
of
in the
games.
NFL?
Well, but every year the
Is he the
salaries
best
go-
quarterback in the NFL?
No, I don't think so.
Is he the best player in the NFL? Well, therefore you would say
I will
no.
tell you this much.
But the salaries go up every year. That's the way it works.
No?
If we get into a sports debate,
Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that for us. But
if we get into a full-fledged sports debate, we will lose the very few viewers we
That's
have.
probably
on the
sorry.
Sunrise Extra show.
And I'll leave too.
Yeah, Ashley will walk out this door.
But I kind of like this little back and forth.
Anyway,
But
I
I
think
will
his
tell you-
agent did very well for him.
Yeah. Well, good for him. Good for Seattle. Hey.
We can.
and now he's got all that extra money to invest in Portland baseball too.
Yeah.
So yeah, Russell.
There we go, Chris.
We can
All right.
weave this into a whole other talker. I will share the story with you.
I'm going to weave out. I'll weave back.
We're out of
in.
here for now.
Bye, I'll be
Just doing
back.
Traffic
There he goes.
reports on the radio, of course. You don't have to share with us the most awkward announcement or thing you've ever said while in bed next to your wife. We won't go down that road. But I will tell you that one of my best friends growing up, Tony, I guess apparently proposed to his wife while they were in bed.
What were they doing in bed before they were married?
Let your mind go to work there, Rod. You can probably figure it all out. Okay, got it? Now, so after that moment, he turns, he reaches over, he gets the ring out of the, out of the nightstand next to where the bed was, pulls it out and asks her to marry him.
Okay.
And she takes the ring, sticks it right into his chest and says, "Figure out a better way to do it."
Yeah, laying in bed.
When I saw the Russell announcement this morning, I thought of
Is that
my
what
buddy
you thought of?
Tony.
So then how did he do it later?
They were out, they went to dinner. Afterwards, he got down on one knee outside the restaurant and did that thing.
But what was he thinking?
Tony didn't do a lot of thinking.
Hey, do you want to marry me?
Well, maybe I shouldn't say any more on this topic.
Rod, tell us how you proposed.
But I do have one more topic to share with you before we bid farewell on this
Yes.
Sunrise
Okay.
Extra. This is just into the KGW newsroom in the last 45 minutes or so. You might call it breaking Sunrise Extra news.
You might.
It reads as follows. It leads with, "This is gross."
This is going to be old news by the time you get to
A
it.
study finds that a man's beard contains more germs than a dog's fur. How do we know this, Rod Hill? How is this discovered, Ashley
Tell
Corson?
us.
Here's how. Swiss professors, some of the finest professors in the world are Swiss. Swiss professors took
not know that.
swab samples from 18 men,
18
ages 18 to 76, so a whole range of ages, 18 different men, and then they took samples from the necks of 30 different dogs, varying breeds. So we have a wide sample of men and a wide sample of dogs. You missed the beginning, Chris, but stay tuned for the
Well,
end.
18 is not that wide, but continue.
Yes. Varying ages, Rod. We've covered all spectrums of age. The bearded men, all 18 bearded men,
I got it.
showed high microbial counts.
Ooh.
Every single one of the men with the beards showed high microbial counts within their beards.
I guess that's
Like
bad.
30,000 species.
Of the 30 dogs that were tested, only 23 of them had high microbial counts. So
they're
by
all
this
gross.
test, men and their beards are grosser than
Well,
dogs.
it depends
and
on what
their
you
fur.
had for dinner before they did the
Oh.
swab, right? Come on.
Have you grown a beard
These
in
two
your
did,
non-TV days?
Yeah, well, we did in November, of
full
course.
beard,
We did.
I'm trying to remember.
I mean,
I
not
like
like
this-
down to
this
here or
scruff.
anything.
I like
but-
the 3-4 day scruff. I'm not a beard guy.
have you-
For the purpose, I don't like cleaning it. I mean,
Right.
You don't really
itchy.
clean it, do you? Maybe that's a problem.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. Oh my goodness,
Well, I mean,
Rod!
you're in the shower and the water
there's
hits
a
it,
whole
and you
industry
might
built up around the
soap it
shampoos
a
and the
little bit.
oils. And have you not learned anything?
shampoo?
Oh, for crying out loud!
Do you
I'm
use
just,
shampoo in your head?
I'm just. Well, yes.
And conditioner?
I don't do conditioner every day, but I have the stuff that's supposed to keep my hair from thinning, actually, that I put on it.
It's doing well. You got a nice full head of hair.
Good.
Still
Working. It's working. You're looking good back there.
Thank you.
But no, I would imagine that the shampoo that you use up here should make its way down here.
Exactly my point.
Why not?
No. You have to do it with your hands.
Well, no, but I just do
Yeah,
that.
the trickle down effect doesn't quite work for the beard.
That's gross.
While it's catching all your food.
Okay.
So if you're surprised by this finding by our Swiss professors, you can chime in. Are you surprised to find out that a man's beard is in fact dirtier by this study than
That just means
fur?
that our immune systems are more robust than our canine friends.
But aren't dogs generally, their mouths are cleaner, right? There's a long list of that.
I hate that comment.
That's a urban legend.
No, don't they
Dogs' mouths are cleaner than humans.
No.
Don't they
No,
cleanse-
but
don't
that's said because they have I think it's because they have
That's a
fewer variety of bacteria or
Probably.
something like that. So people
Yeah.
make that comment, oh, dogs' mouths are clean. Okay, if it's so clean, go drink out of that fountain that the dog just put its mouth all over
I
it.
share
Go
a
for it.
burger with my dog. I wouldn't do that, but we eat off the same side of the hamburger.
I can assure you that our mouths are cleaner than my dog's mouths.
If your dog took a bite of a juicy, delicious burger, like he knew it was going to be good, but he got the first bite of it, you would take it from him and then finish that burger yourself?
I've done that. Yes.
You've shared a burger with your dog.
Well, it had cheese on it and everything.
That'd be a terrible waste of food.
We can do no better than that
Thoroughly
today.
disgusted.
We can do no better than that today.
That's how we
So-
end it.
I figure
think
if our kids can do it and be healthy,
Yeah.
then I mean,
It's
because
not about being healthy. I just don't want to share the burger. You know
it
what?
is gross
I'm giving
from
it
a-
up. I'm giving it up at that point. Hey, dog, that burger.
from a psychological
is now
standpoint,
yours.
it is kind of gross.
Enjoy the rest of
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
Hey, enjoy the rest of it.
While you're eating
Tuesday.
breakfast.
We're closing shop.
Thank
We're pulling
goodness.
down the doors. This thing is closed.
That was a catastrophe.
That was terrible. What a train
I wouldn't
wreck.
go that far, Rod. Maybe I would.
Yeah, probably.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, boy.